The Exodus, Musa, Moses, and the Fall of Pharaoh. Part 1. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. Tonight, we arrive at one of the most dramatic turning points in all of sacred history. A night when an empire stood on the edge of destruction. A night when a tyrant believed he still controlled the future. A night when thousands of oppressed people prepared to disappear into the darkness. And a night when Allah's promise was about to become reality. But before we begin, imagine this. You have spent your entire life as a slave. Your parents were slaves. Your grandparents were slaves. Every day begins with fear. Every night ends with exhaustion. You have watched rulers grow rich from your suffering. You have seen innocent people punished without reason. And then one day, a prophet appears among you. He promises that freedom is coming. Would you believe him, or would years of oppression make hope impossible? This is where our story begins. Not in a palace, not in a royal court, but in the hearts of the oppressed children of Israel. The years following the contest with the magicians were filled with tension. The miracle had been witnessed by all of Egypt. The greatest magicians in the kingdom had openly declared their faith in Allah. Pharaoh had failed to defeat Musa, Moses, عليه السلام. Yet instead of changing, he became even more dangerous. His pride was wounded. His authority was being questioned. And tyrants are often at their most dangerous when they begin losing control. Day after day, Pharaoh tightened his grip on Egypt. The children of Israel continued suffering. Their labor increased. Their burdens grew heavier. Their lives became harder. Yet something had changed. For the first time in generations, they possessed hope. They had seen the signs of Allah with their own eyes. They had witnessed miracles, and they knew that Musa, Moses alayhi salam was not alone. Allah was with him. Meanwhile, warnings began descending upon Egypt. The first signs appeared gradually. Rivers changed. Harvests suffered. Unusual events spread fear among the population. People whispered in markets. Families discussed strange occurrences in their homes. Many remembered the warnings given by Musa, Moses alayhi salam, but Pharaoh remained stubborn. Whenever hardship struck, he promised change. Whenever relief came, he broke his promise. Again and again. The pattern repeated itself, then came greater signs, powerful signs, signs impossible to ignore. Floods disrupted the land. Locusts consumed crops. Lice spread discomfort. Frogs appeared everywhere. Water turned into something terrifying for the Egyptians. Each sign carried a message. Return to Allah. Abandon oppression. Free the children of Israel. Yet Pharaoh refused. His ministers refused. And much of the ruling elite refused. They were witnessing miracles, but their hearts had become prisoners of arrogance. As months passed, Egypt began changing. Fear replaced confidence. Uncertainty replaced pride. People no longer felt secure. Every new sign reminded them that forces beyond human control were at work. Still, Pharaoh would not surrender. Then one day, Allah revealed a command to Musa, Moses alayhi salam. A command that would change everything. The time had come. The children of Israel would leave Egypt. Not next year. Not next month. Not someday in the future. Now, the instruction arrived quietly, but its consequences would shake history. Musa, Moses alayhi salam began preparing his people. The preparations were secret. The departure had to remain hidden. If Pharaoh discovered the plan too early, disaster could follow. Families gathered their belongings. Parents whispered to their children. Entire households prepared for a journey into the unknown. Imagine the emotions of that night. Some felt excitement. Others felt fear. Many could hardly believe freedom was finally approaching. For generations, they had known only slavery. Now they were being asked to leave everything behind, their homes, their routines, their memories, and step into uncertainty. But they trusted Allah. As darkness covered Egypt, movement began. Quietly, carefully, thousands of people slipped away from the land that had imprisoned them for centuries. The stars shone above them. The desert stretched before them. And somewhere among them walked Musa, Moses alayhi salam, leading not merely a migration, leading a nation, leading a people toward destiny. Yet Egypt slept unaware. Pharaoh remained inside his palace. His soldiers rested. His officials felt secure. None of them realized that by sunrise, one of the greatest pursuits in human history would begin. And when Pharaoh finally discovered what had happened, his fury would know no limits. To be continued in Part 2. The Exodus, Musa, Moses, and the Fall of Pharaoh. Part 2. Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back. In Part 1, we left the children of Israel moving silently through the darkness. Behind them stood Egypt, the land of slavery, the land of suffering, the land where generations had lived under the shadow of Pharaoh's cruelty. Ahead lay uncertainty. Ahead lay the desert. Ahead lay a future known only to Allah. But as dawn approached, the silence would end, and the greatest chase in ancient history would begin. As the first rays of sunlight spread across Egypt, alarming news reached Pharaoh's palace. The children of Israel were gone. Entire families had disappeared during the night. Thousands of men, women, and children had left the kingdom. For a moment, disbelief filled the palace. Then came rage, pure rage. Pharaoh's pride could not tolerate such humiliation. For years he had considered the children of Israel his property, his workforce, his servants. Now they had escaped, and worse still, they had escaped under the leadership of Musa, Moses, alayhi salam. The very man Pharaoh had tried to discredit, the very prophet he had mocked, the very messenger he had refused to believe. Immediately orders were issued across Egypt. Messengers raced through cities and military camps. Trumpets sounded, soldiers assembled, horsemen prepared for pursuit. Chariots rolled from their stations. The army of Pharaoh began to move. Dust clouds rose across the horizon as one of the most powerful military forces of its age launched its pursuit. Meanwhile, the children of Israel continued their journey. At first, many felt hopeful. Every step carried them farther from oppression. Every mile increased the distance between them and Pharaoh. But freedom is rarely achieved without trials. Soon, nervous whispers spread through the camp. Scouts had seen something, a massive cloud of dust, an approaching force, an army. As the reports spread, fear quickly followed. People climbed hills and looked toward the horizon. What they saw filled their hearts with terror. Pharaoh was coming, and he was not coming alone. Behind him marched thousands of soldiers, elite warriors, horsemen, chariots, an army determined to bring them back. Panic spread among the people. Some began questioning whether escape had been a mistake. Others wondered if they would survive another day. Then came an even greater shock. Ahead of them stretched a vast body of water, the sea. Behind them stood Pharaoh's army. Ahead of them stood the sea. The situation appeared impossible, trapped, cornered, defenseless. Many among the children of Israel cried out in fear. According to the Quran, they said, "Indeed, we are overtaken." Humanly speaking, their conclusion seemed reasonable. There was nowhere to go, no bridge, no boats, no path through the water, and the army was rapidly approaching. But Musa, Moses, alayhi salam, looked at the same situation differently. Because faith sees what fear cannot. With complete certainty, he replied, "No, indeed my Lord is with me. He will guide me." What a powerful statement! The people saw an obstacle. Musa, Moses, alayhi salam, saw an opportunity for Allah's help. The people saw an ending. Musa, Moses, alayhi salam, saw the beginning of a miracle. As Pharaoh's army drew closer, Allah revealed his command. "Strike the sea with your staff." Imagine that moment. The waves moved before him. The army advanced behind him. Thousands watched. Then Musa, Moses, alayhi salam, raised the staff. The same staff that had become a serpent before Pharaoh. The same staff that Allah had blessed with miracles. And he struck the sea. What happened next would become one of the most famous miracles in human history. The water began to move. The sea began to separate. Massive walls of water rose on either side. A pathway appeared through the middle. Dry land emerged where moments earlier there had been only water. The impossible had become reality. The children of Israel stood in amazement. Some stared in disbelief. Others wept. Many could hardly comprehend what they were seeing. The command was given, "Move forward." Quickly, the people entered the path. Families hurried across. Parents carried children. Elders pressed onward. Thousands moved between towering walls of water. Above them stood Allah's protection. Behind them approached Pharaoh. Yet the miracle was not over. When Pharaoh reached the shore, he saw the pathway. He saw the divided sea. He saw the people escaping. For a brief moment, he could have turned back. He could have admitted the truth. He could have recognized the power of Allah, but arrogance is a terrible prison. Instead of repenting, Pharaoh convinced himself that he could still win. He ordered the army forward. The soldiers obeyed. The chariots entered the pathway. Horsemen followed. Thousands advanced into the sea. Meanwhile, the children of Israel reached safety. One by one, family by family, the final members crossed. The entire nation stood on the opposite shore. Then came the moment of judgment. The moment Pharaoh had spent years moving toward. The moment his pride had made inevitable. Allah commanded the sea to return. Suddenly the walls of water collapsed. The pathway disappeared. The waves crashed together with overwhelming force. The sea swallowed the army. The chariots vanished. The soldiers vanished. The commanders vanished. And Pharaoh himself disappeared beneath the water. The ruler who had claimed divinity could not save himself. The king who believed he controlled destinies could not control his own. The tyrant who had terrified nations now faced the reality he had denied all his life. As the waters closed around him, Pharaoh finally recognized the truth. He declared belief. He acknowledged the Lord of the children of Israel. But the moment had passed. Faith born only when punishment arrives is not the faith of sincere repentance. The opportunity had existed for years. Now judgment had come. Thus ended one of history's greatest tyrants. Not in a palace, not upon a throne, but beneath the waves. When the sea became calm once more, a new chapter of history began. The children of Israel stood free. For the first time in generations, they belonged to no earthly master. Their chains were gone. Their oppressor was gone. And before them lay a new future. Yet their journey was far from over. The desert awaited. New tests awaited. New lessons awaited. And Musa, Moses, alayhi salam, would continue leading his people through challenges that would shape generations. But the age of Pharaoh had ended forever. His palaces would become ruins. His power would become a memory. And his story would survive as a warning for every generation that follows. A warning against arrogance, against oppression, against rejecting the truth when it becomes clear, and a reminder that no power on earth can overcome the will of Allah. Thank you for joining us on this extraordinary journey through Islamic history. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to subscribe. Share this video and join us again as we continue exploring the remarkable stories of Allah's prophets. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.